So over the next couple of days I've got a few errands to go and run around town, and I thought you might like to come with me. So let's go get stuff done. So today was going to be a really productive day. I have a to-do list as long as my arm, and I was just about to go out and start working through it, but my bike decided it didn't want to start. So it's sparking, but it's not catching, and eventually the battery kind of ran down because I was trying to start it too much. I cannot kickstart it because it's on a slope, and last time I tried to do that I went over with the bike, and I have no desire to attempt that again. It's a heavy bike, I can lift it, but it's not good for it to keep hitting the ground. To be fair, it's the first time I've dropped it, so I don't feel confident kick-starting, and I haven't got a single patch of level ground in my yard. Now the problem we've got is the mechanic who would usually deal with this is currently out of the country. And there's only one Royal Enfield mechanic in the whole country. And the guy who sold me the bike, he's really nice, but I think if I waited for him to come and show me how to do it, I'd be collecting my pension before I ever got to go anywhere. So the other day I went to M Hotel, there's a really big hardware store there, and I took a printed out list of everything I could possibly require to work on an Enfield, and I came home with a great big toolbox which should have everything in it that I need. So I guess it's time to woman up and figure out how to make a bike work. So my first port of call is, I think, to remove the battery, and I do have a trickle charger, so what I can do is remove the battery from the bike and try to recharge it. Meanwhile, I'm going to scour the internet to figure out why it's sparking but not actually catching. It's going to be a long day. Ta-da! Behold the battery. So I'm not too sure what this is attached to or how. Oh my goodness, okay. So the internet says I need a number 10 spanner, and I guess it's to undo these here. And they say to undo the negative side, that side first, and then the positive, which is the red. So if you see a red wire, apparently that's positive, and you don't want to be touching that if it's connected. So number 10 spanner does indeed appear to fit. I don't know which side of this you use though. Oh, that doesn't fit in there, so it has to be this side. Okay. Oh no, righty tighty, lefty loosey, isn't it? Oh my goodness. Do you do the front or the back then? Doesn't seem easy to do either. No, it's so difficult to use a spanner. There's no real room to turn it, is there? Haha, I figured it out. You stabilise, oopsie, you stabilise that side with the spanner, and then you need to shove a screwdriver in the back there and undo, which way am I going? Undo the back until the front part falls off. There we go. Really shouldn't be doing this in the midday heat. Probably should put a hat on. There we go. Now do not lose the lug nut. Okay, so that's the grounded one disconnected. Oop. This is a little bit more tricky to get to. If I turn it around like this and rest it on there, that one doesn't require the spanner to stabilise it, it's just coming straight out. Come on then, honey. There we go. And then what? Does it just come off or what? Don't want to touch anything, don't know what's going on here. Gosh, it's a right old mess in there, isn't it? Doesn't look pretty at all. There we go. So I can just, oh my goodness me. Knew these needle nose pliers would be useful. I bought them on a whim coming out of the hardware shop because they look kind of cute. And I knew they'd be useful. I think I need to clean all of this up. It's an absolute state. Come on, there we go. That's the live wire disconnected. I got my battery. I got my battery out. Right, let's go charge it. Negative and positive screws. So I'll clean those up and re-oil them. So this is my trickle charger. It's unbranded, but apparently it's an intelligent one with a repair mode. And it cost me about $23 off AliExpress, and $5 of that was the shipping to Central Africa. So I don't think I can complain too hard if there's anything wrong with it, because that was incredibly cheap compared to the others that I saw. I also appreciate that it comes with a very, very short explanation of how to use it. So not a lot to read there, but it is very small writing. It's squinty writing. But I think from what I've read, you just attach the clips, plug it in. ChatGPT reckons it's going to take 2 to 3 hours to fully charge my battery at the level that it's currently at. So let's give it 3 hours and see if that helps. Okay, I must admit the instructions aren't brilliant, but from what I understand, we attach the red side to the positive, the black side to the negative. Oh my goodness, and the screen lit up all by itself. Thankfully my floors are all cement, so if it sparks we're pretty safe. Let me plug it into something. Okay, yes, that one should be. There we go. Oh bloody hell, it makes a noise. It's supposed to be smart, but it thinks it's on a car. It's not a car, it's a motorbike. Oh, there we go. Motorbike. Let's try again. Okay, it's on motorbike. It's making a noise. I'm going to leave it alone for the next 3 hours and see what happens. All right, see you in 3 hours. Right guys, well it's been 1 hour and 20 minutes and it says it's full. So let's go put it in the bike and find out. So the multimeter is reading 13.48 now for a 12 volt battery. That should be enough, I think. Right, so let's pop the battery back in. Can't help wondering about these wires. It all looks a bit haphazard. Can't help wondering if there should be some kind of coating over it to stop water and things getting in there, but I don't know. Let me know if you know about bikes. Does this look normal? Just before I put the battery back in, I'm going to give this a clean. There we go. I've given the housing a little clean up. It's looking nice and neat. So, okay, just rests in here. I've also given the screws a really good clean up, but I need to give them a bit of a lubricant before I put them in. I'm just going to turn off the camera whilst I reattach the live and the negative. Just because it's really, really fiddly and my camera keeps falling over. Okay, that was fiddly but not impossible. The live and the neutral are now reconnected. I've also cleaned and blued the inside of the box. It was getting a bit rusty. Let's pop that back on. Okay, that was fiddly as all hell, but the battery is back in. I suppose let's see whether it's charged. Well, it's turned on, that's a good sign. It means I haven't completely buggered the battery. Okay, so it's running. I've started my bike. Wow, that was relatively easy. I think the battery was just a little low because I hadn't ridden it for a while and it was really full of dirt and grime in there. So I've given it a clean up, charged the battery. It took a second to think about it. I think there are other things wrong, but I will deal with those later. So wow. I'm just going to leave it to run for a minute. And tomorrow I'll take it out for a proper drive, go and get some things done. But yeah, guys, I am super stoked because that is the first bike repair I've ever done. And it went rather well. So, yeah, that was cool. I am having a real day of it today. Ignore the pink tutu in the background, that's a whole other video. But oh my goodness, it doesn't rain but it pours. Today I went off to get some deworming tablets this morning from my friend Ruth, who has a veterinary clinic in town. And I got that, and then I got back on my bike, and it's only after I left that I realised I'd left my camera with her because I was filming the ride, and of course I took it off the bike to go in and get the tablets. I put it down, forgot to pick it up. She is down this really kind of muram road, this very deeply rutted kind of grit road that is very terrifying to drive down on a big heavy bike like mine. But I did it, so I was quite proud of myself, but I wasn't going to go back down there just to get the camera, so I'll pick that up another day. But then I went out for a lovely, lovely lunch with my friend Susanna, and we went to Ayamaya, which is the lovely little cafe that does these beautiful, beautiful flower pastries, traditional Chinese flower pastries stuffed with lotus paste. They're gorgeous, they're so, so yummy. And we sat and we were gabbing away for a good few hours, and then the rain came. And here when it rains, and it feels like it has been raining for about a year now. It feels like the dry season just wasn't a thing this year. It just rained. And so thunder and downpour, and of course my bike was parked out front, and it wasn't covered. And as I got into my wet weather gear, I sort of jokingly said, "Oh, I'll be back in a minute because the bike probably won't start." And of course, the bike didn't start. It's got some issues, and it definitely wasn't starting because the rain really didn't help. And eventually trying to start it wore down the battery. A lovely moto guy pulled over, he tried to kick start it, wasn't happening. So I took the bike out of the battery. That's not what I meant to say. I took the battery out of the bike and I headed into town to TVS, which is like a big bike shop here, and they don't have it. And basically the bike shops carry smaller batteries because all of the bikes here are pretty small. It's pretty rare to get anything over a 250. So I can't find the 12 volt 14 amp battery that I need. And the reason that I was looking for a new one is because mine is beat up. Mine is old, it's beat up, and of course I texted the guy who sold me the bike because, you know, he says he has a whole load of spare parts for these bikes, and he said no, he said batteries are the one thing that we really can't get out here. So I gave up on trying to find a new one, though I really do need to find a new one. And I came home and I've trickle charged the one that I've got, and my goodness, that rain. I came home on a public moto and we almost drowned getting home. So I've been trickle charging it, and now I got home, I guess at like, I don't know, 3:30, and it's now 6:30 in the evening, and it has just stopped raining, but there's more rain on the way. So I'm gonna put on some wet weather gear, I'm gonna hop on a public motorbike, I'm gonna race back to my bike because I had to leave the bike outside the cafe, so she's been sitting there in the rain. I am under no illusion that the bike is gonna start. I don't think I want to try and put the battery in because it's dark and it's raining and I can't see anything, and if I drop the little screws I'm screwed. So I'm just going to hop over there, put the rain cover on it and the bike chain, and I'm going to have to leave it out there for the night because I don't think I can do anything tonight. And then tomorrow in the daylight, and providing it stops raining for 2 blooming seconds, I'm going to go and try and retrieve it. Oh God, but that bike needs a new battery, and yes, and other things which I'm working on. But it's been a really long day. It's like not one thing goes wrong, but everything goes wrong at once. So, and but I do have a tutu. I have a tutu. That's a good thing. All right, guys. So I'm gonna head out. It's still raining, pitch black. Just need to get the cover on it really, and I don't know if I'm going to find any moto who's willing to take me in these conditions. Just don't really want to leave it with no protection and no cover tonight. Okay guys, I'm here and the bike is here, and it's quite nice. The street is lit up like Christmas at the moment. It's quite pretty. I'm standing here in the rain and I'm thinking I'm going to give it one go. I'm going to try and put the battery in using possibly my phone light under an umbrella and just see if I can get it going, and if I can't, I'll cover her up, put the chain on and go home again. This is the life of a biker. Or maybe I should say this is the life of an Enfield biker, an Enfield owner. Oh my dear. Bike repairs under an umbrella in the rain. Oh, right, this is where the battery should be. And if I drop the screws, I'm screwed, but let's give it a go. I'm not going to film this bit because it's a bit tricky. It's pretty cool though. I've got my own little private tent going on here.
Many minutes later.
Oh my god, guys, I've just spent 30 minutes fucking about in the rain because that fell out in my bag and I couldn't find it. And it's for the negative terminal on the battery. I was worried it might have fallen into this stinky drain next to me. But no, it was in my bag, and I searched my bag about 20 times. I couldn't find it. Oh my goodness, today is not the day. You know what I'm saying? It's not the day. Hello guys, everything is soaked to the bone. Everything is drenched. But you might be able to hear this. That is an idling bike. It would have taken me about, I don't know, 40 minutes if I'd been able to find the screw, but it's taken me about an hour and a half. Sitting in the rain, but we're going home now. I'm going home. So you might be able to see my breath. Like my breath it's so cold and wet. I'm just packing everything up and then we are going home. Definitely home time. I have my cats, I have my life, and I have Mutzig. Honestly guys, I think Mutzig needs to start bloody sponsoring me. Oh my goodness me, I've just got home. Wow, that was a lot. Yeah, I was sat underneath that umbrella. I've got my waterproof pants on, so I was on the ground. And I was searching everywhere. You know when you've got those screws and you think, you know what, I'm going to put one really, really safely so that I don't lose it. So I put it in my wallet and my wallet emptied into my bag. And it's such a small fiddly thing. And I was in there. It was like searching the wardrobe through Narnia at that point. I couldn't bloody find it. The reason it was difficult is like my phone light wasn't great. It was pitch black, it was raining. And like connecting the battery to the wires is really fiddly because you've got to get a little screw in there and it's got to be perfectly aligned, otherwise so I did all of that, and it would have been really quick if I'd been able to find the screw, but I couldn't. And then I started to think that it rolled off the road and into that drain that I was sitting next to, and I was like, oh dear god. But perseverance, people, perseverance. I kept going, found the screw, got it attached, I managed to get it going, and then it went out again. I was like, oh no, that's it, I've only got one shot at this. And then I tried it again and it kicked off again. She clearly wanted to come home. I wasn't leaving her there. You should have heard me scream when I got it going. There was like, I think like the entire road was like, who's being murdered? But yeah, I managed to get it going, and triumph, victory is mine. Yeah, and then it was just a case of getting it to idle whilst I packed everything up, because I'm like, if I take my hand off the throttle here, are we gonna have to start again? I'm learning a lot about bikes, faster than I ever really wanted to. I've got to get a battery. Where can I find one of these batteries, guys? 12 volt, 14 amp battery. Where do I get one of these? Apparently you can get something called, it's a no maintenance battery, where you just put it in and you never have to do anything to it again. You never have to top it up with water, you never have to do anything. It works. I would like one of those. But at the moment I will settle for anything that is new, anything that is brand new out the box and working. I will happily accept that. So if anybody knows where I can find one of those, please, please, because this is getting ridiculous. I've had enough. I really have. I've had enough, but in a sadistic, twisted kind of way. I'm sort of enjoying myself. You know, I'm learning so much, and the fact that I managed to sit in a puddle of rain for like an hour and fix my bike and get it home. It's kind of a good feeling, and I feel like I've earned this. I deserve it. So, yeah. Exciting day today. I've just got a brand new battery for my bike, and it's a no maintenance one, so I shouldn't need to top it up with battery distilled water. You just put it in and it should run. So I'm just going to quickly charge it up, because I think when you get a new battery it's only about 70% charged. So I'm just going to hook it up, leave it to trickle charge until it's full, and then put it in my bike. Oh my goodness, it was so difficult to find a replacement battery, because it's a 12 volt 14 amp, and everywhere has 12 volt 9 amp. But trying to replace this, because it's for a bigger bike, there aren't that many big bikes around here, so it wasn't easy to get hold of. I think Rudy found a shop that had 4 of them and he bought them all. Okay, just gonna leave that to work its magic. So I'm trying to install the new battery and it's an absolute arse. Firstly, because the terminals on the old battery are at the back and my positive lead is really short. So trying to get it to stretch all the way over here is quite difficult. I've had to widen the wires. Oh, and now it's starting to rain, which is absolutely bloody brilliant when you're trying to attach a battery. But also on the old battery, the screw went in sideways, so it was quite easy to attach. Whereas on this one, I've got to try and screw it on from the bottom. Or the top, I'm not too sure. It's really not in such an easy position. I'm going to persevere and fiddle with it and see if I can get it done. Oh, this is impossible. Because you could technically do it sideways like this, but my positive wire isn't long enough to bring it over that way. Oh, this is such a crap design, it really is. I was thinking maybe I could swap the positive to this side and the negative to that side so that the terminals are at the back. But it's not sitting very comfortably like that, so I'm not confident that's a good idea. Well, that was a bit of a shit show, but I think I've managed to connect it. This looks terrible. And also, like, that is going to cover it. But if that covers it, isn't it going to short it? This is a really bad idea. Let me just see if it works. Well, the electrics turn on. See if the bike starts. Immediately. It does start immediately. Yeah, so I just went to look that up and I'm right. If you put that metal protector back over and it touches the positive terminal, it could short out the electrics. So it said either to cover the terminals with rubber terminal protectors. Now I have ordered some, but they're going to take like 3 weeks to get here. Or to try what I just attempted, which was to switch the wires over so that I can have the terminals at the back again. I'm going to give that one more go, which it's a bit soul destroying, having just worked so hard to get the battery connected, to now have to disconnect it again, but I think that will be a safer option. Actually, this is a lot easier to disconnect than it was to connect. Thankfully. I bought these just because they look really cute, but they have been the best, like, 4,000 francs I think I've ever spent on anything. They're just brilliant. They just help you to get little things out of tight spaces. Okay, well that wasn't fun. I finally managed to get it fixed in, but pushing it back there was a whole shower of sparks, so I don't know if that shorted it or what. I'm a bit worried that it's going to touch something on the positive side. Let's try the key. Let's see what happens. Shit. Shouldn't have done that. Did not secure it well. Shit. The battery fell and the wire has disconnected. Shit. Okay, so when the battery fell out, this broke, so it was a very thin piece of metal attached to here. So what I'm going to try and do is what has already been done to the positive. I'm just going to try and create a little hole here and attach it that way. Let's give it a go. Unfortunately, Kigali weather being what it is at the moment, it might be a bit of a race against time. So after getting in touch with a company called SJ Spare Parts, I was told to try the shops around Gisozi market in my search for wire connectors. I had no idea there were so many hardware shops in this area and didn't really know where to start. So I wandered into the first shop with a car parking space. It was like the mecca of all DIY. It was pretty amazing. The owner, Christian, didn't have what I was looking for, but he sent me off with a runner who took me through the back streets to another shop. A lovely guy called Paul, who owns this shop, had exactly what I was looking for. Mission complete, I hailed another moto and headed home through the chaos of Gisozi. So some days can be incredibly easy and some days can be incredibly difficult. And today was an incredibly easy day. So I went off looking for these parts for the bike, and I discovered there's a big sort of hardware market in Gisozi that I just didn't know about before, because I guess I've never had a reason to go there. And everybody was so helpful. Literally, I went to the first shop and they sent me with a guy to another shop and I got exactly what I needed. I've got 2 connectors for the battery and a roll of electrical tape. So easy, and honestly, I've got to say, I wasn't expecting everybody to speak as much English as they do. I mean, I've lived here for a very long time and I know people do speak English, but everybody I met spoke English. It was kind of a bit of a surprise, a good surprise, but a weird one. But it was good, you know. I'm just surprised at how amazingly easy it was. There was a guy called Paul who had an electrical shop there, and he just popped in, he got me exactly what I needed, dirt cheap, so kind of him. And I got a lovely motor driver on the way back, and we were chatting away, and that was nice. And then to top it all off, so when I was replacing my battery in the rain the other day, I took everything out of my pockets. I was a mess. And that day I'd just been to my friend Ruth, who is the vet, to get some deworming tablets because one of my cats she had a chest infection and I wanted to deworm her just to make sure it wasn't exacerbated by that. And Ruth had given me some deworming tablets and I hadn't been able to get them to take it. They've got a real strong chemical smell and I was trying to hide it in mincemeat, but I just couldn't get her to take it. So I couldn't really keep trying because it was covered in meat and so it was unhygienic. So I went back to Ruth's place to pick up some more deworming tablets. And then when I was fixing the bike in the rain, of course, like everything was everywhere. I thought I'd lost the tablets again. And I've just spent 2 days upturning my entire house looking for these tablets, and I was convinced that I had left them on the road when I fixed the battery in the rain. Just as I arrived back today with my hardware and my electrical tape, I got down onto the porch, glanced up, and the deworming tablets are sitting on the windowsill behind me. How the hell they got there, I have no idea, but I found them again, which is great, because I think asking Ruth to replace the tablets once is fine, but asking twice, that's a bit cheeky really. So I'm really glad that I don't have to go and ask her again for more deworming tablets. But it's just been a weird day, you know, some days the gods smile and some days they really don't, but today has been a good day. So I can now attempt to fix my battery properly, but the only problem is it's the midday sun at the moment, and that's going to be harsh. There's no real shade over there. But I need to try it to see if I can do it, because if I can't do it, then the mechanic can come this evening. But I think I can. I mean, it can't be that difficult, can it? Let's find out. Right, I'm out in the midday sun. Let's see if we can tidy up these wires. I'm slathered in sun lotion, I've got my hat on, I'm good to go. So the main issue is going to be getting the old thing off, because it's like really tightly on there, so I need to get that off, re-insulate the wire and put the new one on. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Take the old insulation out. There we go. I don't want to do a bodged job, you know, I want it to look neat, I want it to look nice. Bloody hell, this is a pain in the ass design for a thing. Goodness me. Oof. Okay, I think I'm making very small progress here, but I think it is progress. Hey, okay. This is a mess. I mean, how did it ever get to this state in the first place? Seems like that was the easy part. This bit here at the top is damn near impossible. The more I play around with motorbikes and laptops, the more I can't help thinking there's got to be an easier way to design this stuff. I mean, you don't want it falling off, but at the same point, it shouldn't take this long to get a simple piece off a wire. Oh, I'm getting hand cramp. I have so much more respect for mechanics now. Let go of the wire, come on. Oops, sorry darling. Just let go of the wire. Oh my god, so over this. There we go. Oh, come on. Yes, done it. Done it. Never want to have to do it again. There is my horrific bundle of wires. Need to put a comb through that. No, there's only a couple of tiny little wires on that one. Okay. Twisting them together. Okay, so I've come indoors because it is so hot out there at the moment. It's unbelievably warm. And I don't know, I just don't want to fuck this up. So I've decided to call a mechanic friend in this evening, and hopefully once it's cooled down a bit, he can make the electrics look a little bit neater than they are at the moment, because my plan is to insulate the bits that are exposed and put those little connectors on the end. But it's hard work, and especially in this heat. This heat is insane. So yeah, I think I'm just going to kick back and relax for a bit, make some food, and wait to see if my friend can come and do it for me. Not only did my friend manage to do it, but he made it look absolutely beautiful. I was a little disappointed that I hadn't been able to finish the job myself, but sometimes you just need to call an expert. And I haven't had any problems starting it since he fixed it. Got the replacement battery in, so should start first time. Beautiful. All right. Lots of good adventures.